In the 14th century, Alice Kittler, a native of County Kilkenny, was the first woman in Ireland to be convicted of practising witchcraft. The Kittler family were Flemish merchants that settled in Ireland sometime in the 14th century. Alice Kittler is said to have lived in the house at the right of the Buttermarket Gate on St. Kieran Street, where the Kittler Inn still remains today. This extraordinary woman was married a total of 4 times, firstly to William Outlaw, second to Adam le Blond of Callan, third to Richard de Val, and finally to John le Poer, who she married in 1324. William Outlaw was her son from her first marriage. William was a banker and he enjoyed enormous wealth and was a man of immense influence. By the time Alice's third husband had died, she and her son were in possession of a large fortune. Bishop Richard le Dread was the Bishop of Ossory, an English Franciscan from London. He had a preoccupation with heresy and sorcery to the point of obsession. Alice's stepchildren, jealous of Alice's wealth and influence, banded together and informed the bishop that she had killed their fathers, using sorcery in order to gain wealth for her and her son, thus cheating them out of their inheritance. Bishop le Dread charged Dame Alice Kittler and her 2 accomplices, Petronilla of Meath and Basilla her daughter, with the practice of witchcraft, as well as sorcery and heresy. According to her stepchildren, she allegedly sacrificed 9 red roosters and 9 peacock eyes to a spirit called Robert Artisan. The bishop's charges were continuously thwarted by Alice's powerful friends. Firstly, the bishop wrote to the Chancellor of the King in Dublin, who happened to be a cousin of William Outlaw, Alice's son. The Chancellor refused to order her arrest and instead asked the bishop to drop the charges, which he refused to do. The bishop then charged Alice and her son, William Outlaw, with the crime of heresy. William was a powerful man and was related to many of the ruling classes. He called upon his friend Sir Arnold le Poer, a senior official in Dublin who had the bishop thrown in prison in Kilkenny Castle. Incarceration had only fueled the bishop's determination to prosecute Alice and her son. The bishop summoned William Outlaw to appear before him. This time he held a court in St. Mary's Church with the Chancellor and the Council of the King in attendance. William Outlaw pleaded guilty to heresy and Alice Kittler was excommunicated. William was sentenced to attend 3 masses a day for 1 year, donate to the poor and re-roof St. Canice's Cathedral. This was still not enough for the bishop, who wanted to make an example, to strike fear into those denying him. His attention turned to Petronilla of Meath, Alice's alleged accomplice. After being tortured, she confessed to practising witchcraft, and so she became the first woman in Ireland to be burnt at the stake for the crime of being a witch. Following her excommunication, Alice fled to England and was never heard from again. However, her name has never left local folklore, even hundreds of years later. What is extraordinary about these events is that the locations still remain with us today, such as Kilkenny Castle, where Bishop le Dread was imprisoned, St. Mary's Church and St. Canice's Cathedral, and of course Alice Kittler's home, which to this day is known as Kittler's Inn. This story was recorded by Claire Murphy in the Old Kilkenny Review in 1953. To discover more stories from Kilkenny's past, follow the link to be taken to the online archives of the Old Kilkenny Review.